pay perhaps a bit more. Of our 1.8 trillion budget, remember, only 400 billion of this is programmable. So, can government pay for new plants plus old loans and still provide the services and facilities you need? We have to pay more because this is the reality of economics, not the rhetoric of politics. Everything has its price. We have to pay a real price for a real service. There are actually just two choices. Pay a little more for energy or live with the lack of energy and the continuation of rotating brownouts. What we need to realize is that old days of cheap power are no longer sustainable, but we can maintain reasonable power rates. And you must also put in your fair share in solving this problem. You have to pay a little more for the current and future health of the energy sector in Mindanao. I understand some cooperatives are paying an additional 50 to 60 centavos per kilowatt hour. This is in contrast to certain quarters who prefer to sow intrigue rather than to face the facts, and who chose to alarm the public by extravagant claims of Mindanaoans having to pay up to 14 pesos more per kilowatt hour. This is simply not true. But still, prices will increase and we all need to play our respective parts. Sa Tagalog po, ambag-ambag tayo dito. These are costs all of us must share, and your administration is doing its part. We are putting our money where our mouth is. We are setting aside almost 2.6 billion for the large-scale rehabilitation of Units 1 and 2 of Agus 6, which has been neglected for the past 59 years. This is a plant that was designed, as I told you earlier, to operate for only, or had a lifespan of 30 years, and yet we have used it for almost twice as long. This rehabilitation is long overdue. We are also spending for the rehabilitation of Agus 2. We will not only restore these plants to installed capacity, but improve their output due to advancements in technology. The results, these plants will be able to produce an additional 79 megawatts. NEDA has also approved the Integrated Natural Resources and Environmental Management Program, which allocates 7.24 billion pesos for 4 river basins, 2 of which are here in Mindanao, literally getting the water flowing again. We are indeed doing our part. But we are also making sure that these projected price increases will be fair. This is why we are studying the formation of a Mindanao Power Monitoring Committee to be chaired by MINDA with representatives from the Department of Energy, NAPOCOR, the National Grid Corporation of the Philippines, and others from civil society, electric cooperatives, and the business sector. Paying a little more for energy will enable us to ensure a stable supply of power for the future of the region. It will make the lives of everyone in Mindanao better, not just by allowing them to switch on light bulbs, but also because having a more consistent energy source will give Mindanao a more convincing business proposition to potential investors, not just in the energy sector. This isn't just about energy. This is about attracting investments and creating jobs. And this is about securing the future of this region. The dream is that by the time I step down in 2016, this energy situation will be one less worry in the minds of Mindanaoans and investors in Mindanao alike. That by then I can truthfully say that I left you all in very good hands and in a very better state than what I have found. I have said so many times, and I say it again today, Mindanao must not become just the land of promise, but the land of fulfilled promises. And that is why I'm here, not just to show all of you that we are focused on the problems you're facing, but more importantly, that we don't want your region to just get by this next 1 or 2 years. We want you to be a pillar of our economy in the coming decades. Consistency is the foundation of progress. Consistent supply to consistently entice investments that will stay and create continuing jobs. At the end of the day, it is about empowering a region to take hold of your own future. And before I end, can I just emphasize the need for energy? There are in the provinces of Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi, we are undertaking a lighting of sitios program. We are allocating close to 3 billion pesos for the entire country to energize the sitios. What was left to me was a statement that said 98% of all barangays in the country are electrified. What was not said was that 98% referred to a definition of an electrified barangay as any barangay that has at least one sitio. electrified is considered an electrified barangay. So what was left was 36,000 sitios to be electrified at about 1 million pesos per. Now, we are happy to note that last year they asked 1.3 billion for 1,300 of the first phase of this electrification program. They actually electrified 1,520 sitios, and the cost was not 1.3 billion, the cost was a mere 814 million. So again, that is an achievement of both DOE, NEA, and even DBM. Now, we are connecting them to the grid. The grid doesn't have power to supply, then we're back to square one. That's why it is so essential. We address the needs of those who have the least. But more importantly, in providing you all of the opportunities, we do need the power that is constant and reasonable to entice the businesses that will provide us the jobs and enable our countrymen to really improve their lot in life. And that is where we are focused on. And not just a palliative now, but something that you can count on for decades upon decades. And before I end, I understand that in the Balawi floodplains, the Governor de Poporo is present. May we ask personally for the efforts, your efforts to ensure that the flood control project, which adds also to Pulangi, Agus, I'm sorry, to Agus, is expedited. Thank you, Governor. Thank you. Good day.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
And that ends our program. Maraming salamat po, mahal na Pangulo.
Tiniyak ng Pangulong Aquino na ginagawa ng pamahalaan ang lahat para hanapan ng solusyon ng kakulangan sa enerhiya dito sa Mindanao. Inilatag ng Pangulo ang mga hakbanging isinasagawa ng kanyang administrasyon, kabilang na ang rehabilitasyon ng Agus, ang nakatakdang pagbuo ng Mindanao Power Monitoring Committee na pangungunahan ng Mindanao Development Authority at bubuuin ng mga kinatawan mula sa Department of Energy, NAPOCOR at National Grid Corporation of the Philippines at ang paghanap ng iba pang pagkukunan ng enerhiya. Aminado ang Pangulo na iba't ibang factors ang naging sanhi ng kasalukuyang kakulangan sa enerhiya. Kabilang na ang lumolobong utang ng NAPOCOR na noong 2003 ay nagkakahalaga ng 1.24 trillion pesos.
Thank you, Mr. President. Agos 6, 1 and 2 will be rehabilitated. It's a good thing that we are doing right now, although we have requested that as early on as 2010, 2011, but it's better that we are now doing it. Also, Pulangi 4 will also be repaired, rehabilitated. Baloy flood project will be done. Now, there are 3 more things we'd like to ask you, Mr. President. 4 barges, because this was discussed also this morning. 1 barge, 32 megawatts in Davao. 3 power barges, diesel in Iloilo. So 32 also, 32 megawatts. We would like you, Mr. President, that you will not sell it to the private sector. We ask that this be rehabilitated, brought to Mindanao, and to be operated here in Mindanao. We believe that this will be a total of 120 megawatts. If we repair them, then we are able to have not only 10 to 20 that we have now, each one, but we'll be able to do that. That is what our people here, the stakeholders, agreed this morning to request that the 4 barges will not be sold like barges 117 and 118. So that's the first one, Mr. President. Second, we will also ask, Mr. President, that we do everything that the illegal diesel power plants with 100 megawatts should already operate. I know it's with COA, but the power of the presidency and the power of the state will be there to make sure that COA will study it very, very fast and approve it if it is approvable, and be able to have 100 megawatts immediately in, these are short solutions, in Iligan City, Mr. President. Third, we have always said that, renewable energy might be expensive. But, Mr. President, you have a fit-in the tariff mechanism. Many countries of the world, solar energy, Mr. President, will only take 1 year to be built. And if we have solar energy, many have come. The late Ramon Abaya of Sepalco died, Mr. President, without having realized his dream to put up at least 20 to 50 megawatts in Fibidec. So we are asking if we can consider already, and ERC is here, the fit-in program is already 1 year pending since what was submitted to them by the National Renewable Board. The NREB, the board, suggested at first 239 megawatts. For Mindanao, it was lowered down by Secretary Mendes to 50 megawatts. So we are saying that we have to implement our RE law. Because the area of precisely is clean energy. So, Mr. President, in addition, we thank you for your action. That will certainly alleviate. With these 4 actions that you have done, we are all right. But if we are able to perform these other 4, we are on our way to have Mindanao to be a land of fulfillment. Thank you. 1 minute, Mr. President. Thank you.
Salamat, Rufus. Malaki utang na loob ko sa'yo. 1 minute na question mo. No? Pero, okay, barges. Yung by 2014, magastos ang diesel. Di ba? Diesel na barge. Sinusunog mo talaga yon. That will never be parang the most economical way of doing it. So, it's being pressed before, no? Not to be privatized. I think that's reasonable. It's being studied. We need to buttress the decision with the appropriate study. Pero, para clear, hindi long term. Hindi, baka i-postpone natin by about 2 years pag nag-online na yung other baseload plants, di ba? Para napaka-ridiculous naman yata to retain them. And I'm sure nobody will contract their power if there are alternatives already. Yung sa renewable, I understand, si Chiseni is here, parang, Chiseni, you want to say something?
Good afternoon, Mr. President. In response to the question of Congressman Rufus Rodriguez, we would like to inform you that the petition for FITS is already submitted for decision. Mr. President, we're just waiting for the other documents to be submitted by the intervenors. So we give all the parties the opportune time to participate. So in due time, don't worry, we'll respond to it. Okay.
Mark, can I just finish answering the questions? Yung renewable, if it's solar, as you know, there's an ongoing fight between America and China with regards to yung subsidies allegedly being given by the Chinese government that makes the production of solar panels and the cost that much cheaper. Alam mo naman that we are in disagreement with China on one particular issue, which actually hasn't been resolved as of today. There has been other instances that they have not been very friendly. Would it be, if we go solar, they are the cheapest producer and they will have another entry into controlling our economy. I think it's not the wisest decision at this point in time. So that has to also be been factored in. Did I miss anything? In COA, illegal. COA has already decided, I understand, that anyway, COA is a constitutional body. We will request them to expedite, but we are reasonably certain that we can get at least 20 megawatts for illegal in a relatively short period of time, and then another 100 to maximum in a period of 7 months after COA is finalized. So as soon as I get back, I will personally ask COA to expedite their processes so that we can proceed to move on. We've been talking to them, and they're aware of the problems. And there are Filipinos who have compassion for their fellow Filipinos. I'm sure they will not increase the burden. Thank you.
Okay.
Mark had this. Gov din po sa.
Mr. President, first and foremost,